Hello everyone, welcome back to another team list analysis. We're going to be talking about round 12 in this one. Starting off with the first game with the Dragons and the Rabbitohs. Latrell Mitchell's back, so he had his 2-game suspension. He's back in the squad in the number 1 jersey. Alex Johnson moves to the wing. So for those who have kept him, usually I think a few of them would have got rid of a Bradman Best, for example. He is coming back. Who knows how he will play. He does have a little bit of a soft run over the next couple of weeks. So he will hopefully score well. But the Dragons have been playing a lot better than they were at the start of the season. So something to think about there with him. And on the Dragon side, a few things to mention. Ewan Aiken actually is playing really well. So anyone with the Aiken-Lomax partnership there in the centres, he's probably in the top 2 or 3, especially with Sione's now out for 6 weeks plus. Aiken has been scoring really well since he's got that starting gig. So anyone with Braden Williami, he's definitely not coming back. Moving along, Benny Hunt has been moved to the 7 jersey this week with Adam Clune out just for this week only. He should revert back to the 9 jersey. So for those who picked him up like myself last week, probably won't expect as good a score, but he does score well in the 7 jersey anyway, thinking in the mid-50s if you're looking at Benny Hunt. Cam McInnes has been moved back to the 9 for this game, but there has been... I did read up that he should be getting his DPP second row forward as well, considering the fact that he's looking to be played in that position for the rest of the year, and same with Benny Hunt. So we'll have to find out, but those changes will be made as of Wednesday next week. So after this round is when some DPP changes will come into effect. And the other thing is Trent Merrin is out. Jackson Ford comes into the 13 jersey, so something to look at there if you are interested in someone like that, but I don't think that is worth it. Moving along. Tigers, Warriors. Alex Twal's back. Thing to think about with him at the moment, he had a score of 30 in his game before. He lost 23k. He does have a high break even, so even if he scores a 50 or a 60 this week, he should still lose about 30k. So you can wait a week with him. He's dual position front row, second row forward. He's going to be perfect to bring into your squad for the run home. He's someone that I'll be targeting personally. And for those that have Eisenhuth, he's just been completely taken out of the squad now with Twal being back, which is how it was before Twal was injured. On the Warriors side, Jazz Tavanga scored pretty well in his first game starting for the season. I was talking about Jazz Tavanga or Benny Hunt. Benny Hunt did have the better game. Jazz looks like he will have that spot sewn up for the rest of the year, with the fact that a bunch of the Warriors guys have gone home. Jack Hetherington is now starting this week, so should have an uptick in minutes. But other than that, not too much to speak about on the Warriors side. Moving along, Broncos and the Sharks. Darius Boyd is in the 1 jersey. Tessie New is definitely out for the season. For those of you who have him, that was a bit of a flop, like myself. Anyway, moving along. Jake Turpin is back. A lot of people were picking him up as of the restart. He will score well again. Will he do it this week? Not sure. They do have Isaac Luke on the bench, so he'll most likely get sort of, let's say, 50 to 60 minutes, especially in this first game back. Connor Tracy is playing in the 7 jersey. Chad Townsend is out, and he will be out for a while. So Connor Tracy will play in that position, but Sean Johnson is doing the bulk of everything. He has the most try assists in the game. He's leading that category, and he will control the proceedings in this. So expect maybe close to the output that Jai Field had. Maybe not the ceiling, but that sort of 30 scoring is what you look for in Tracy. But there's a bunch of guys that are at a cheap price for this week that will probably be better for your squad. Other than that, not too much to talk about with those teams. Roosters and Titans. Brett Morris is out. Will be out for a little while. So Ryan Hall and Enikavalu will get some game time. Tupou will be back eventually as well, but these guys aren't people you want to be thinking about. Cordner is being rested again. He's had a few concussions lately. So Tupanua will keep that spot. Orbison's still on the other side with Angus Crichton recovering from his injuries. Nothing really to talk about with the Titans. Jamal Fogarty came back with another decent game. Fortawaker not scoring as well at the moment, but hopefully a bounce-back game for him. I have him also. Moving along, Cowboys, Raiders. Not too much on the Cowboys side, but on the Raiders side, Rapana's playing the 1 again. CHN we'll have a month or so off there to get his finger right again. Didn't look very good at all during the game, but he should be okay and back, especially for getting closer to the final series. Bateman is back, guys. Welcome back to the GOAT. Let's see how he goes, hey? He's got Tarpany, Ryan Sutton, and Harawira on the bench there. So if you guys that can play in that back row, let's say Ryan Sutton would play a middle role, Tarpany probably his 13 role, and Harawira will probably come on for Bateman. I don't imagine he'll play the full 80, but we'll see how that goes. So he might lose a little bit of money over the first few weeks, and then he'll be right for the picking coming up there. Tommy Starling, amazing start to his first games. He's actually really, really good player. Tackles really well. As I said in one of my other videos, I think he's a better option than Havili, especially at a much cheaper price. So hopefully you went for that way. Those guys who picked him up at the start, you've done a really good job, and you get some good price rises and scores out of him. Taumalolo is still scoring well for the Cowboys, and that's about all there. Reece Robson losing some minutes. Had an okay score on the weekend, but not the same as he was before. And Dejan Arce, also not as good as his first game, which we thought would happen. Eagles Panthers. Only thing to mention there is that Kepi is brought back onto the bench, and he's replacing Jacevski. And on the Panthers side, Api Coruscant is in the 18 jersey, so on the reserves. Matt Burton has been dropped as Kickout comes back, so nothing really to talk about there. And then our second last game, we've got the Dogs. Only thing to mention there was that Tim Laffey's back in the squad. Shouldn't be thinking about him as part of your squad. And Madison going off early on the weekend. Looks like he'll be right to play, but he will lose some cash over the next few weeks, and he'll also be right for the picking. So it looks like there's a few second rowers and front rowers that will lose some cash over the next few weeks, guys. So think about those. These are top line keepers we're talking about here in Madison and Twal, for example. So you can wait a week or two to bring them in. If you have enough cash to bring them in now, I'd say definitely pull the trigger. It's better to get their points now than to wait a week and lose those impending points just to wait for like a 30k price drop. That's just my thoughts there on that one. RFM, whoever bought him at the start, like I mentioned, was a good idea for those that wanted a mid-price guy. He's probably, as I said, on the borderline of being a keeper, probably a 16th or 17th man. There's people thinking about bringing him in. I wouldn't do that now, but if you bought him in at a cheaper price, then you can definitely keep him. He's scoring a try every second week, let's say on average, since he's been brought into the squad, and they like using him close to the line there, so he's doing really well. And just moving to the last game, Storm Knights. Nothing really to talk about with the Storm, very much the same squad, playing really well as a team there. Pong has done really well. Best has also had back-to-back 2 really good games. Kurt Mann, amazing on the weekend. Pearce just doing his job. Chris Randall comes back in for his second game after his mammoth, over 70 tackles in his first game, obviously in a 90-minute effort. But looking at their bench, they've got Crossland who could come on and take some of his minutes, but they do want an 80-minute hooker, which you can see McCulloch played. Brayley also played that 80-minute role before he was injured. They've lost Connor Watson now, so this is Randall's spot. I see him as a really good pickup at 300k, and he will be able to score as well as you'll want to have him starting in your 17, and he can potentially become a keeper in that position at an extremely cut price in cash cow territory. At worst, he's going to make you some money, and if you have enough trades, you can trade him out and upgrade him from there. Mitch Barnett in the 13 jersey had a good game on his return, so he's someone to think about as well. But there's a lot of good options in the second row, front row, forward section, so I wouldn't be thinking about him too much on a personal level. But that's it with the teams, guys. Let me know what trades you're going to be making in the comments. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the videos, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good week.